call the meeting to order. Those of you that have cell phones, could you please put them on silence for the meeting, please? Another thing that I'd like to do, I'm going to start out with maybe a little new tradition here for the County Board of Supervisors. 2 weeks ago, as some of you remember, one of our citizens came in, Mr. Tim Nelson, I believe, and gave us a gift that I think is very appropriate for the county or any governmental body for that matter. And that was these flags that we have on the desk here. And he asked us, after he gave us a gift, if we would do the Pledge of Allegiance. So I would like to start, our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance because it's appropriate, I think, for governmental bodies to do that. It also shows that we have an allegiance to this country and the great contributions that's been made in the past by our forefathers and ancestors, and that we have an appreciation of the people who have gone long before us and sacrificed everything in the past and also currently for the betterment of this country and for our state and for this county. So I would just like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States. Could everybody stand and we can do that? I to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we can move on. We have the minutes of the May 27th. Are there any corrections or changes in those minutes as mailed on May 27th?
Move it. Second.
Discussion. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. We have the discussion of the approval of the claims.
Move it.
Second. Discussion. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, we have number 3, the hearing of our human resources. We have the authorization to sign the hiring the courthouse security. Is there a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Yes, Mr. Marshall, do you have a comment?
Yes, I do. Jim Marshall, the Northwest Iowa Labor Council and all its affiliates stand opposed to the county's contracting out of the courthouse security, and we would urge you to reconsider your vote at this time. We think it is prudent. We think the taxpayers of Woodbury County, the majority, are opposed to this plan. I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Appreciate it. Any discussion? Mr. Peters, would you give your name, please?
Yeah, Mike Peters, resident of Woodbury County. As a resident of Woodbury County, I'm a longtime labor member. I really think this smells of contracting out. You're not going by the union contract. And we all know that contracting out is absolutely wrong. And I would hope you'd rescind this deal too, and go with the sheriff's plan. I think it's better for Woodbury County. I think it's better for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. Any further discussion?
We are paying union scale. This is a new group. It's courthouse security. If they choose to join the union, that is perfectly fine with me.
Well, I think, Mr. Clausen explained it exactly. We are entitled to hire and create new positions and hire employees. It's not that we're trying to circumvent that, or we're hiring a outside firm to come in and provide courthouse security. And I won't go any further than that. Any other discussion?
I just guess I think we approved courthouse security this is going forward with the plan. You know, I'm not wanting to stop the process. This is going forward. This is executing what we, I believe it's a 4-to-1 vote a few weeks ago. And this is how we get it secured, is we have to hire the people. And I agree with Supervisor Clausen. You know, I feel good. These are jobs that are well paid. I'm not sure what union they will be sought after. It may be more than one. It's possible. It's not our job necessarily to recruit for the union, but it is our job to make sure we pay living wage. We're doing that. And then it's the union's job, and I fully support unions, to come in and try to increase their membership. I was a member of a union and active for 34 years. And never once did the management, you know, come in and say we're creating union jobs. They created jobs. They changed the structure of how we were grouped, and then the union came in and worked with us cooperatively, or with the management on setting up a structure that worked, and it worked well for all the years I was there. Were there some problems and bumps? Yeah, but by and large, it was a good organization, and I think this can happen here. We need to get behind it and all work together and move forward.
Thank you.
That's
Right.
Well, no other comments.
I do.
Sorry. We're going to move forward on this.
I still have a
Mr.
comment.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes. When we started this process a few months back, I was under the understanding that, you know, the group was working with the sheriff and you guys were going to hammer out a plan. And then, what was it, 4 weeks ago, everybody got the biggest surprise that there was. And like you guys all as friends, but I disagree with you. If you were for unions, you would have worked with the sheriff's office and the CWA to make courthouse security go through the sheriff's office. That's all I got to say about it.
Thank you for your comments. I'm not going to have any back and forth here this morning, because that's all it's going to be. Roll call vote, please.
Tripp,
May.
Monson,
Nate?
Boykin,
Yes.
Clausen,
Aye.
Smith.
yes.
Okay. Motion passed 3-2. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go on to item number 4, which is the Board of Administrative Public Bidding. We have a resolution for notices for sale of property. Item A.
Move to set the sale of property for June 17th, 10:15.
Okay.
Second that. Second.
Discussion. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same thing. Approval of the lifting of tax suspension for MF.
Move. Second.
Discussion. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Approval of the lifting of the tax suspension for SF.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Approval of resolution to approve petition for suspension of tax through redemption process.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Item 5, secondary road, Mr. Neri. Nara.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Our first item is approval of the contract for the Michigan Avenue Bridge, $510,724.50. This is east of Anthon and south on the gravel.
Move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item B.
Next item we have is a permit for work within the right of way. Holly Springs Church is selling some soil from a hill behind the church. It's being used down at the Hornick Co-op where they're building a new bin site. So they're using it as fill down there. They need to be able to get out on our road, and they'll be putting up some signing in the right of way to warn traffic of oncoming trucks, as well as building a temporary driveway in this location.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion. Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Finally, we have a buried utility permit for Mid-American Energy. This is the intersection of 230th and Lennox Avenue. Platinum Grain is expanding again, and they are bringing in some additional electric line. I don't know if you noticed, but they're putting in a fourth huge bin there.
Now, this is where, is this?
Platinum Grain south of Anthem.
South of Anthem.
It's where those 3 large grain bins are, west side of the road, about 2.5 miles south of Anthem. on
Right,
Highway 31.
okay, I was wondering, because that's the co-op that we helped bring here, when was it, a year ago, 2 years?
Well, it's been at least 2 years.
2 years.
I think we're pushing 3. It's also the one where we're looking at extending County Road D51, utilizing some of our special levy money over the next 5 years. We're scheduled for next year to be grading that 2.25 miles.
So they must be really doing quite well.
The facility sold. It was owned by an ethanol plant, and now it's owned by another interest. And again, they are expanding. So they're apparently planning on some growth, and they must have good market for their
Absolutely,
products,
it's
so.
a good thing for,
But all of their
Woodbury County.
utilities, both phone and electric, are coming to them from the backside along Lennox Avenue, which is a gravel road that lays west of Highway 31.
okay,
Move it.
okay. Discussion. Those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Anything else? Just a reminder of the, go ahead, of the meeting.
Yeah, tomorrow night we have our informational meeting down at Salix. I passed to the board a draft agenda for that meeting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at the Salix Community Center. Board acts as trustees for the Orton Slough Drainage District. And as our last meeting, only us hardy souls that were able to brave the blizzard made it. The second meeting's being scheduled to allow for more landowners to come and ask questions. Ivan Dressler and his assistant from INS Group will be down there doing the presentation of the options, and then we'll be able to receive some comments from the Orton Slough landowners.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all.
I do have a question on this. It's got comments and questions from Orton Slough landowners. Does that just mean the Orton Slough landowners, or are we gonna open that up to the?
Well, that means, specifically the Orton Slough landowners, because it directly affects, it's the Orton Slough district that we're talking about, but it also affects the other homeowners down there too, around the Blums Lake area. And I think we should also allow them the opportunity to express their opinion about the project and the effect it would have on the lake. But I think we have to, if they are represented by a single individual or a group of people, we should allow those comments. But we don't want to go on from 6 to 9:30, 10 o'clock at night listening to over and over again. But it will affect, the whole area down there. So Larry, I think that will allow people besides the landowners to make comments.
I think it's important that you do get the comments from the people that are paying the bill first and foremost.
Right.
And then with remaining time and an opportunity for written comments from those folks that are outside of the district. But I would hate to see the folks from the Orton Slough not have a chance to express either support or I don't want to pay for this, because we're busy with Browns Lake residents who aren't the ones who necessarily have the financial stake in this. So when we wrote this up, I think it's important that you get the comments of the district out first, and then the other comments that we don't have time for, they have the option of putting in written. And again, the Browns Lake folks, you guys are running the meeting, open it up as you like, but I think it's real important that we make sure that the folks, again, paying the bill have the chance to get their questions answered.
Okay.
And that's something that many of them missed out on at the January meeting.
Okay, all right.
Just looking at the agenda, is this a meeting of Board of Supervisors?
It's an informational hearing. They are there just to listen.
It's a meeting of the trustees of the ordinance league.
Which you are virtue of being the Board of Supervisors.
Right.
Joshua, have you looked at this?
I haven't been asked to review it. Which portion?
Yes, I think that it should be posted as a meeting of the Board of Supervisors and as trustees for the ordinance school district.
No, we don't have an issue with that because we normally are anyway. We play dual roles there. So we can,
That's the way it should be
yeah,
posted.
we can post it as such, and I think it may have been advertised as such.
Yeah, everybody received notice, and all the landowners have received notice in the mail of it. And that's been in the newspaper and posted at Salem City Hall and other venues around town. So with every one of these, we've tried to send our staff out to circulate it to convenience stores, other areas where people are likely to see it.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Does that suffice?
Yes, it should be posted in 24 hours prior.
I can get you,
It's just to,
piece of post here too.
right, revise that on the
Yeah,
agenda.
and we need that today.
Yeah. Revise it on the agenda. Okay.
One final thing, we completed project work on Old Highway 141. We had those areas where we had the loss of material and drop on the center line of the road, deteriorated asphalt. Midwest Coatings did the work. They still have pavement markings to put down, but significant improvement in the ride. We had, my staff reported a lot of motorcyclists going through with a thumbs up. Apparently, I mean, if you had tried to go over that with a bicycle or a motorcycle and cross that center line to pass a vehicle, it was hazardous because we've got photos where the dip is that deep and, in a very narrow area along that center line. It was interesting what we found when we milled down to place new asphalt. There was one area where we discovered an 8-foot wide, 1.5 feet deep, and I think it was 3 to 4 feet long void underneath the road.
Wow.
Right next to a culvert. And
A washout.
we were able to make repairs to that with some flowable mortar. But in many places underneath, the pavement slab had either deteriorated or separated in some cases. And all of these factors were contributing to that main center line coming apart. We may have to do more of this in the future. We did a little over 9,000 feet. We had to add some just from the winter. We had some additional deteriorated, but I think the folks that we were most concerned about having problems out there very much appreciated the fact that we were
Good.
Can
attending.
you email those photos?
Sure. I could even bring them up on the computer if you'd like to see any of them, because we do have them out on the U drive. If one wants to see them after the meeting. But
Okay.
Right.
Great. Thank you, Mark.
I can email you some too.
Yeah, thanks.
See you this afternoon.
Yep.
Hearing of any individual or group wishing to make a presentation on item not on the agenda.
Yeah, Mike Peters, resident of Woodbury County, and I think I'm doing it in the right place. I want to thank this board for the improvements at Browns Lake, the campgrounds, with water at each site. Hopefully it extends to Snyder's Bend. Hopefully the city will take your initiative and move forward, and when the riverboat's gone, they can make a nice campground on the riverfront. A lot of people use these camping facilities. I was in Rodney last weekend, but I was in Browns Lake before, and I do a lot of camping. And the better the campgrounds are, the more fun it is for everybody's there. So thank you very much for
Well,
the improvements.
we
I hope they-
appreciate the,
I hope they keep going. The only bad part is, I think you're just a little high on price. That's not my, thank you.
it's not as expensive as a motel though, Mike.
Yeah, but I take a not more expensive hotel than Liberty.
All right, thank you. Anyone else, board members? Just that we have a tour this afternoon at Jolly Time Popcorn, as you remember. Also, have a meeting set with our county engineer, Dennis Butler, myself, and Larry Clausen with plant manager at CF Industries. I also have on the agenda for the 17th, I think, of this month, or is it the 18th, a explanation and meeting with the city manager. We have been having some meetings, and one of the primary things, there's been a lot of primary discussion on areas of collaboration and cooperation where the county would save a lot of money in some areas that we've talked about in the future, so that that's to be looked forward to in the future, ladies and gentlemen. So just to let you know. We do need a motion to go into closed session to discuss a legal matter under section 21.5, quote 1, quote C.
Motion to go to close. Aye. Aye.